Good evening, bitches, bros, and non-binary hoes. I'm hoping everyone is doing good today. Have a good weekend so far. I mean, it's almost over, so hopefully this has gone wrong yet. Yeah, I've not had the chance to stream properly. I thought today will be the day I actually go around to get around, to talking about all the things I've been meaning to talk about. I should have everything prepared and ready to go. And then we'll play some Death Stranding and continue on with that one. Get rid of some of the videos I've already watched from my playlist. I don't need to talk about anymore. Darren Gemini, I'm glad you responded to my call to get down to business. I mean, if you mean by Hans, you mean the right-wing grifters. I'm definitely down to defeat them. That's what I'm getting down to business for. I've got a few things I want to talk about today. One thing I do want to talk about is how Miskiff actually recently showed screenshots of Discord messages about the allegations Emiru made against him. That's part of the screenshots that shows Asmongold using the N-word and admitting to using it liberally that I have posted about before. Dude, I am so hyped for Count Binface to be the first honest politician we get in the UK. For once, as an MP, I can be proud of, right? Like, if people told me to list my favorite politicians, first of all, it would be Zohran Mamdani, and then that'll be it, basically. It's just genuinely so embarrassing. Like, when people try and talk about British politics and I have to pretend I don't know about it because I don't admit how embarrassing it's been since, not even 2016, before 2016, since 2012, actually. Also, thank you for the subscription. I really appreciate it. I will use your money for good purposes. In fact, your money will be going towards paying my phone bill, and that's the phone I use to bully people on the internet with when they're being transphobic and misogynistic and racist. So yeah, you're legitimately doing something that's supporting a good cause that you can see the results of very clearly. I've got friends who actually live in Count Binface. I was going to say Nigel Farage's constituency. It's not. It's Count Binface's constituency. And they're going to be voting for him. If anything, we shouldn't be surprised by any of this, right?
What was that noise?
A star and Gemini just...
Oh, I really... Shout out to your ex.
My toxic ex still has her Prime link to my account, so enjoy the Prime star.
I appreciate that. That just makes it even better. Shout out to your ex for supporting me and my bullshit. Probably the only good thing they've done since, right? I've got a friend who recently went to a anime convention and she went dressed as Misa Mane and she had a death note with her and she got people to sign it and everyone put their... Basically, she had a hook pages of people just putting down the ex's names in it. Which was quite fun. I also found out that I made a joke recently, and apparently my joke is wrong because I didn't watch the Hollywood remake. So you guys know the movie The Ring, right? Hang on a second. So I thought I was making a really good joke, but turns out no. My joke is wrong now. Let's play. Watch this. So I made this joke saying cursed spirits have been declared endangered due to Sony ending production of physical media for them to inhabit, right? I thought this was a really fucking good joke based on what Sony have been doing recently by saying they're not going to make Blu-ray discs anymore, right? But please, someone think of the cursed Japanese ghost spirits, right? Or anyone think of the cursed spirits. But no, it turns out that there was a remake in 2017 that I just didn't watch. And it turns out at the end of that movie, spirit of the VHS tape goes digital, so that just ruined my entire joke. Like, she literally just becomes a chain email. I'm like, oh my god, this is. I'm hoping people who see my post now don't know about that shitty remake, because it sounds terrible. I never watched it, but it sounds like I dodged a bullet by not watching that one. So I'm hoping my joke still lands because no one else watched it. Fingers crossed. Let's chat. Let's chat. There we go. Also, there's been more evidence about the whole Tyler, what's his name? The guy who shot Charlie Kirk. Guy who kirked the Kirk. They found footage of him fleeing the scene. And I don't know if they're gonna, like... Because one of the funniest things I think a lot of people have forgotten about is when Charlie Kirk first got assassinated, everyone thought it would be some kind of left-wing, woke, transgender person, right? And they were talking about how they should maybe consider giving them the death penalty when they're caught. And then when they caught him, and he was a white Mormon Christian kid from a conservative family, Erica Kirk was all about forgiveness because they had to reverse that one really quickly. And I have a feeling the reason why we've not seen or heard from Tyler, whatever his name is, I forgot his name, Tyler Robinson, that was it. We haven't seen from Tyler Robinson as much as, like, we've seen obviously photos and stuff of Luigi Mangione during his trial and stuff. I think it's because he's so blatantly, overtly conservative Christian, they don't want anyone to see the fact that Charlie Kirk was killed by another straight white Christian man. That's why they don't want to have him out. Probably say, I'm genuinely imagining, like, the way the interrogation is going with him when the police are, like, doing good cop, bad cop, Christian cop, whatever the hell they need to do with him, where they're trying to get him to say things that a left-wing person would say, like Black Lives Matter or trans rights or human rights, and he keeps saying things like, you know, make America great again, and they're like, shit, we can't do this, man. If the press get word of this, it's gonna look bad for us now. I think that's why we've not seen or heard from him since. I think he keeps saying things they don't want him to say because they want to typecast him as some left-wing crazy person, which they can't seem to do now. Like, if you ever want to win an argument against a really weird right-wing conservative racist or whatever, bringing up Tyler Robinson is one of the easiest ways to just get them to shut up and leave you alone. Also one of the funniest. Alright, let me start off by doing some of my Duolingo.
Una familia muy grande.
Let's play. A big family, okay. Oh, my family is big.
La familia de Ana.
Ana, mi hija favorita.
Mamá, tú solo tienes una hija. Esta es mi novia Salma.
There we go.
Buenos días. Salma.
This is woke, holy shit.
Tomás.
I can't believe it, Duolingo's gone woke.
Hola. Y este es mi abuelo.
Este es mi... Oops, mi abuelo.
Buenos días. Este es mi padre y este es mi hermano Julio.
Padre and hermano.
Días. Hola. Este es mi hermano Mario y mi hermano Javier.
Hola, Mario. Hola, Javier. Tienes una familia muy grande.
Familia muy grande, there we go.
Pero yo solo tengo una hija.
¡Mamá!
Perdón, ahora tengo 2 hijas. Bienvenida a la familia, Salma.
Gracias.
Here we go. But is... Oh no, hang on. That's Novia. This is Esther. No. There we go, Pero. That's what I'm looking for. Right. You know what? For fun, should I do a time guesser? I've not done that in a while. Let's chat. Let me sort that out. I've not done my Wordle today either. Log into that. Let me do this. I hate that the Wordle website is the New York Times or nytimes.com because whenever I type in NY in my browser, it brings up piracy websites that I use to download anime because I don't use Crunchyroll. Or is what I would say if I did engage in piracy, but clearly I don't. That was a joke for legal reasons. I obviously subscribe to Crunchyroll, and I would never steal anime. Sarah, welcome on in. How are you doing today? I've been branded a left loony person literally before I've even said any of my political views before. I don't know if it's the dyed hair or the brown skin. Might be a combination of both. They took one look at me and think, damn, this motherfucker probably believes in human rights for all people. I bet he wants free healthcare, and he thinks human beings should be housed, and that we should probably end committing genocides in other countries, right? What a piece of shit. I think that's what most right-wing people think when they look at me. Before I've even said anything. They don't even know that we might have something in common, right? Maybe not a lot. I think we can both agree that EA is a shit company that does really shitty predatory business practices. I think that's maybe... Oh, no, actually, no. They probably wouldn't be against it because they probably love capitalism that much because Elon Musk told them they should. Get what I just said. I spoke too soon. Also, the fact that this lo-fi remix of the Metal Gear Solid 3 soundtrack has a sound Ocelot makes when he calls his backup by making cat sounds is kind of hilarious. So look, what else have I wanted to talk about beforehand? I was only streaming D&D today, but May is currently LARPing because she's such a LARPer. So we'll be doing it next week instead, which means I get to play Death Stranding today. A recent video on YouTube as well about a session and how people have not watched it is actually getting a good number of views. And generally, I think, just from discussing with people online about the movie, I think most people who are currently talking about it are talking about it because it's popular, but also they must have only seen like clips of the movie on TikTok or read a Wikipedia summary because there's no way they miss so many fucking things in a movie they claim to know enough to talk about. Like, people are genuinely confused about the rules of the One Wish Willow from the movie, even though in the movie there is a scene where the main character calls the customer service line and has it explained to him very explicitly how it works. And people are still asking questions about it. There are also a lot of people really upset about The Odyssey recently. Christopher Nolan's new movie, which I'm sure most sensible people are excited about. But like, it's become one of the most disliked videos on YouTube right now in regards to movie trailers. And the only reason it's been disliked so much is because a black woman shows up in it for a few seconds, and that's all it took to upset these people about this movie. Like, they are generally that fragile and that easy to upset. Like, legitimately. They forget that she is literally a award-winning actress, right? She's not just some random person that got hired because she's black or whatever they believe. She's legitimately a good actress who has won an Academy Award. Also, this isn't the first time they've been upset about Christopher Nolan for casting someone they didn't like. Because if you were alive during the early 2000s like I was, you would remember that a lot of people were upset about a casting in The Dark Knight because he decided to get the guy from the gay cowboy movie to play the Joker. And a lot of people who don't like gay people were upset about that. In 2006, we saw posts like this, and not just a few posts, a lot of posts. You can see comments on the YouTube. If you go to the original YouTube trailer for The Dark Knight, I'm sure in the comments there you can still find like comments from people way back then, like literally 20 years ago, saying they hate the idea of Heath Ledger as the Joker because he's not a good actor, because all he's ever done are rom-com movies. And the most notably, of course, Brokeback Mountain, which they know is the gay cowboy movie. So, like, this is not Christopher Nolan's first rodeo. And, of course, history just repeats itself, doesn't it? Let's chat. I'm excited to see the Odyssey. I've already got my ticket booked for it in IMAX on the 17th, I think it is. And then after that, I need to book my tickets to see Spider-Man Brand New Day. I'm not sure which cinema I want to go see it in yet. Also, because I normally go to the Odeon, but I booked IMAX for Odyssey. And I want to see if it's worth it or not. Because I know that I like the reclining chairs that Odeon have, and I like the food they have as well at cinema, because I like getting cinema food. But recently, and I'm telling you, this is the straw that broke the camel's back. They stopped stocking butt-kissed toffee popcorn at my local Odeon, which is what I normally get. It's legitimately one of the best popcorns out there, and that's what's making me consider leaving and going to like Cineworld or somewhere else for the big movies now. I mean, we've got Dune coming out and Avengers. Those are probably the next two biggest movies. I'm an Odeon fanboy. Another thing about the whole Helena Troy casting as well. One moment, let me get this one up. Let's play. So a lot of people are upset about the Helena Troy casting purely because they think it's a race swap and it's not true to the original. Whatever that means, based on a Greek poem where skin color was never really mentioned. I mean, if you want to be upset about accuracy, she should be half swan, right? But no one's upset about that. But like, even the argument saying that, you know, they're using the really shit Troy movie from 2004, which nobody talked about until now, because they want to use it as an excuse to be racist, just to mask how hateful they are, basically. But like, before that movie, Eartha Kitt was Helena Troy in the 1950s in a stage production. Like, legitimately, this isn't a new thing. Christopher Nolan is not doing a race swap here just to be new and controversial, because it's been done before, apparently. Apparently, 2004's Troy movie was the race swap. But I doubt anyone who apparently claims to care about race swapping is going to suddenly change their opinion about this movie now that they know that 2004 was not the original first time Helena Troy was cast, right? I wonder if they're going to change their tune after seeing that, or they're going to ignore it and continue to use the movie as an excuse to be racist. That's exactly what's happening. They are using it as an excuse to just be racist to other people, right? They can't say they don't like black women, but they can say that they think it's a bad casting, that it's not true to the source material, or any number of excuses they can use to hide their racism, basically. Let's chat. Shouldn't surprise anyone, though. I'm looking. Oh, the news that happened the other day. anyone who's been watching the World Cup or keeping up with football, yeah, England beat Norway, which is something I was not expecting, if I'm being very honest. I was expecting them to lose in the quarterfinals there, but they've made it to semifinals now, which is probably more than most people expected. Like everyone's expecting Norway to win that one. It was a close match, genuinely, probably one of the most exciting football matches to watch if anyone was watching it. Like they had an early lead, and then England caught up at the end in the last few minutes as well. But like, if England do win the World Cup, I'm gonna have to delete so many scheduled posts I had. I need them to lose just so I can make jokes about it. This is my career on the line here. Making fun of England is where I get most of my income from. I can't have them being successful. I need them to actively fail. Usually they're failing politically, which is an easy way for me to then ridicule the country and its government. So, like, if England do win the World Cup, I need the government to do something really embarrassingly bad, which could be just Binface beating Nigel Farage, which means I should be safe. I should be good. I should have enough content for the next month, maybe even the next 6 months, actually, depending on how well Count Binface. Actually, I saw a post online from someone in America talking about how they thought Clacton was the planet that Count Binface was from, not knowing that Clacton is a place in the UK. Because they kept hearing people say Count Binface of Clacton. I mean, Seraph, the investigation has already stopped because he stepped down now, which I think is stupid, right? Just because someone has stepped down doesn't mean you should stop looking into them, especially when you know they fully intend to run again for the same position. I think that just means that, like, you should carry it on because you know for a fact they're going to be back in that position again and they're going to need to be investigated. That's what I think is going to happen. But I think on his end, it's probably enough time for him to cover his tracks and burn a few documents and stuff things in the shredder. I think that's basically why he's done it. I think he's just hiding evidence, maybe deleting a few hard drives worth of information. I think if he does do that, though, it's going to be very obvious, isn't it? Because we can tell that there should have been a paper trail here, either proving he was innocent or guilty. But if there is no paper trail at all, then we know for a fact that he must have gotten rid of it, which makes him guilty. But, like, obviously, they can't convict him without the evidence of anything, right? Unfortunately, the legal system is far too forgiving of crimes involving rich people hiding where they're getting the money from. If he did something like park in a bus lane or something for like 3 seconds, then like legitimately his career would be over. Like if Nigel Farage was stood on a double yellow line and then receiving money from a Russian oligarch, I think that's the only time we'll ever get any evidence of him doing something that might be seen as unethical. And we'll have actual proof for it. I think that's the only time it'll ever happen. Because the police don't pay attention to anything else, do they? I think the best we can hope for is he gets hit by another milkshake. I wonder what flavor it'll be next time, because I know previously he was hit by salted caramel from Five Guys, which is a really good choice. Whenever I go to Five Guys and if I feel like getting a milkshake, I always get the salted caramel flavor because that's the one that is the most aerodynamic when it comes to throwing against racists. Although I hope if he gets hit again, they should throw the peanut butter one or the cinnamon bun one, because those are also really good flavors, and I want to have a reason to buy those more often as well. If my aim was better, I'd be doing it myself. But I'm not a very sport person. I'm just excited to see. Well, no, they're predicted right now that Count Binface is going to lose, right, to Nigel Farage. Like, first of all, I would say I understand why people of Clacton are upset that their political situation has been reduced to a joke with a joke candidate, but they elected Farage in the first place, so I think they've done it to themselves by putting a joke candidate in power in the first place. But also, there's a chance to do something really fucking funny if all the people at Clacton elaborate on this one, because it's been predicted that Farage is probably going to win his seat back anyway. But if everyone in Clacton put £10 on Count Binface and then voted for him, not only could they get rid of Farage, but they could also pocket a good amount of money because the odds are against him right now. Yeah, straight up. I think they've legitimately done it themselves, and they shouldn't be surprised. I mean, there's one thing to be said about Count Binface. At least he's actually been to Clacton once. I can't believe the people of Clacton voted for Farage when he doesn't even live there. I don't think he's ever actually been there, has he? Apart from maybe for like a publicity, like... I don't think he stayed there overnight. I think he went there for a day to do like a rally or something, and then that was it. He left the same day. He's never spent 24 hours there. But I was watching a video about Count Binface and his previous attempts at securing a seat in Parliament. And the most recent election, or by-election he was in, he had 95 votes, but he was 7th out of 14 candidates. Which is kind of crazy, right? Out of all the independent candidates, he was one of the best. They did, yeah, they revealed his true name, didn't they, and his identity, which I think is kind of shitty, right? If anything, I think he should take them to court for that, because, like, it could be putting him in danger now, because the violent far right might be trying to get at him now to stop him from beating their favorite candidate. Yeah, I mean, Count Binface might be a mantle, you know? It might be more than one person that's taken up the mantle of Count Binface. And if you strike one down, another one will rise up and don the bin and take his place. I think that'll be, that's how it should be. It should be like Batman or something, right? Every single time one retires, someone else takes his place. Like, we've had Batman, and then we've got Batman of the future, Terry McGinnis, and then we've had people like Dick Grayson also take up the mantle. I think that's what Count Binface should be for the UK. I do think it's unfair as well that they won't let him wear the bin in Parliament if he wins. Like, they've told him he won't be able to wear a space battle armor either, which is very unfair, because obviously he needs to survive in our environment, because he's an alien from another planet. They can't do that. That's kind of ableist of them to expect him not to wear that. I genuinely think he should... He'll probably have, like, good grounds for a counter-argument saying that they're being ableist by not letting him have his space battle armor in Parliament. So that's why he's been doing his most vicious battles, right? Against the other MPs. Alright, let's do some Wordle real quick. Let's play. Starting word. Okay. Votes, as in votes for Count Binface. None. Okay. Pinky. Got a K. Crack. Oh shit, okay. Is it Clack? It is. Count Binface for Clacton. Right, time guesser. We're gonna do the daily challenge. Let's go. Alright. What do we have here? That's an iPhone. So it's, I think it's around 2015, that model. Might even be before that, 2014 maybe. I see what you are. They're at the F1. Azerbaijan. Is that where it's held, or is that who they're supporting, though? That's a question. I've seen the colours on the lanyard. Do I know where Azerbaijan is? I think it's around here somewhere, isn't it? Or am I in the wrong place? There we go. I knew it was here. Okay. I'm gonna guess Azerbaijan. What year do I want to guess? I'm gonna go based on this phone. I think it's 2016. 2019, 3 years off. 1 kilometer away from the correct location. First Lady and Vice President of Azerbaijan posing for a selfie with the spectators at the Baku City Circuit during the 2019 Formula 1 Grand Prix. Okay. Good start. Let's see if I can keep it going. Oh, 1982. Okay. Got the year. NBA World Championship. Los Angeles. Okay. Got the location. 1982 LA. Horses. What was happening here? Is this a celebration of the NBA team? Oh no, welcome on in. How are you doing? Congratulations, you are stolen first. I think most people just ignore it because they assume we've already got it. That's why when you hop in, it's not claimed, so it's yours by right, I guess. I'm gonna lock this guess in. Spot on again, 1982 in LA. That one was a little too easy in my opinion. Magic Johnson and head coach Pat Riley riding on a float through downtown LA during a parade celebrating the Lakers' 114-104 victory over the Philadelphia 76ers in a Game 6 of the NBA Finals, clinching the series 4-2 and securing the team's 8th NBA championship. Okay. This is written backward. It's not in English. The Photoshop. Is it actually 5.8 million? Those looks like cars from the 60s. What language? I want to say Russia, so I'm going to say maybe Moscow. I don't really have much to go on this one. They're wearing winter clothing. It's probably somewhere cold. Yeah, they look like 1950s or 60s cars. I went with 60s because I know sometimes people keep cars for a decade or longer. I went with mid 60s. Auto art particular. Okay. I don't really have much else I can go on here. 1950, 15 years off. Okay, I was right about the cars. Those are brand new cars. I thought there would have been different cars, but also it's in Helsinki. I was right about it being in a cold country. I just picked the wrong one. Victoria Cafe. Seeing horse and carriages. So late 50s, maybe late 40s, early 50s, sorry. We still have horse and carriages, but also we have the early automobiles. 1910s, that's really early. The reason I'm thinking 1940s is because obviously commercial vehicles for people weren't really main spread until around back then. Because I know they started in 1920s, but it wasn't until after World War II, or at least a few years after it, that people were able to afford them. Because when they first came out, most people couldn't, but it looks like there's a few on here already. This is in the middle of transitioning between... Oh, hang on. Dr. Stad, London. I don't think this is in London. That's not in English. Could it be London, though? Because London is a multicultural city. And these buildings do look like English buildings. But it could also be anywhere in Europe. I'm trying to, like... Let me look around. Let me look around. I mean, Victoria Cafe could be in India, because obviously India really loved the Queen as well. Specifically Empress of India, Victoria. It was against their will, mostly. I want to see if anyone wrote anything on this picture. Man's holding a newspaper, but I can't read it. Capes are still in fashion. It might be 1930s. It looks like Arthur Conan Doyle times. I'm dropping it in London. 27 years off, 1908, Berlin, in the early 1900s. Oh, we have a flag. It's hard to tell because it's folded, but it's red, yellow, and blue. But then also there's an American flag, so it could be... We've got the flag. It could be either one of those countries. It doesn't look like it's America. It could be an American embassy. Welcome. Is that JFK? 1964. I want to say Spain, but I know it's not Spain. Could it be Ecuador or something? It's blurry, but it does look like JFK, so I imagine this might be around the time he was president. Is it Romania or something? 66. Do you reckon it... I'm guessing earlier, because I think it might have been before he was killed. So I put 1964 at the minute. Well, I can put 66. I think it's Romania. Try Bucharest. No, it was, okay, 1961, Colombia. I got that one wrong. 32K, that's not bad though. I mean, it's usually my average, isn't it? Let's chat. Let's chat. Let me move on to talking about a few topics today. No, let's just play the whole playlist. Let's play. Let's play. Let me watching a few of these and then we're playing some Death Stranding because I've got a few things I want to talk about in regards to one of these topics. I'm specifically interested in this one about Emery lying.
The problem has not gone away. I know that we haven't talked about ICE as much on this broadcast as of late, but obviously ICE is still a terrifying menace on many communities, many neighborhoods, and we are of course going to be talking about what ICE did in Texas. There were 4 men, in a van. I believe they were undocumented migrants. They were workers in a van in Texas, in Houston, Texas, and they were driving around as a federal agent shot and killed the person driving the van, who was an undocumented Mexican man in his van during a traffic stop in Houston. This happened last Tuesday. The government rushed to follow a familiar template, just as it had after other shootings. The Department of Homeland Security released a statement insisting that the man, Lorenzo Salgado Araujo, had weaponized his vehicle against the officer who then justifiably...
A lot of sus people turned up at Taylor Swift's wedding.
Once again, another unjustified...
Jared Kushner was there.
Broad daylight, same script. DHS lies about the situation, says that he was weaponizing his vehicle.
I imagine mostly because of Travis Kelce. I imagine he's the one that has those Republican ties.
What happened? The victim's brother and 2 employees of the dead man's construction business. They were detained by Immigration and Customs Enforcement during the encounter, and we haven't heard from them publicly about what happened. So they very
suspicious for someone who claims to be such a progressive person, right?
Everything else. The son of Lorenzo Salgado, the Houston man who was shot and killed by an ICE agent, went on Aaron Burnett on CNN and talked about the situation. Let's take a look.
Terrible details, but important to know that he was screaming and he was in pain and he was screaming, "Help me, they shot me." Now, Araujo had lived in the United States for 30 years. He has no known criminal record.
Before people say, oh, because he didn't have his paperwork. Yeah, the first crime is the crime by the federal government for not issuing this man the proper paperwork to continue working legally on U.S. soil. The recent crime, the much more severe crime, is, of course, the Gestapo thugs of the state assassinating him in broad daylight and then also lying with impunity.
Aldo Salgado, he is Lorenzo Salgado Araujo's son, and he's joined tonight by Juan Prano, the CEO of the League of United Latin American Citizens.
Ariana Jasmine says, for 35 years, Lorenzo Salgado Araujo woke up at 5 a.m. and built homes across Houston, had no criminal record, but was still fatally shot by an ICE agent in an unmarked car on his way to pick up his construction crew Tuesday morning. This is America. And immediately people go, entering the country illegal is a criminal offense. Your entire argument gone 35 years ago when you crossed the border. Try again. The punishment for border crossing, especially 35 years ago, but even now, is not murder. It's not. People that respond this way are...
I wonder how many it's going to take, right? How many times are ICE going to have to kill someone innocent until the people who are supporting them are going to say, hey, this is kind of a bit too much.
Dildos do.
Like, legitimately, there have been so many times where, see so many times, like 3 or 4 times we've seen already, where people are willing to just jump to defense of ICE agents immediately after the news tells you that they've killed someone that they weren't supposed to,
there was a lot of stuff
and have a face no consequence for it.
At the time, as you saw in that footage, and you know, I would like to correct it. It was 2 vehicles. I saw 2 vehicles.
Yeah, pretty much. I think people won't do shit about it until it happens to someone famous that they like, basically. As long as it keeps happening to innocent civilians, like, they aren't gonna care, are they? Because bad things are expected to happen to regular people. It's when it happens to a famous person
The probable
suddenly,
cause that the DHS will push for this.
it becomes unacceptable, right?
Enforcement operations, right? That's what they say. It just means racial profiling. That's all it is. They look in a car, they see that it's a van, they see that there's a brown guy driving it, and that's enough to set them off. And if they're feeling like they want to murder that guy, they get away with it. That's literally all this is. Yes, a Kavanaugh stop, as it's called.
And we are seeking and asking for a few things. Number one, we want a truly independent investigation to actually happen. We're also demanding the body of Lorenzo to go back to his family. They're still not in possession of it. And in addition to that, we're requesting that all information that can be used as evidence to be retained as well. And so this is just the start of the process. It is a tragic, tragic series of events for a man, a family man, a provider, to his children and his wife of over 40 years that should have never happened.
Yeah, they're lying about everything. They're lying about everything. They're lying about the car was used to ram the ICE agents. Like, it's all bullshit. It's always bullshit. ICE officers not wearing body cameras during deadly Houston ICE shooting, says Department of Homeland Security 3 hours ago. 3 hours ago, family says dad was scared and wanted to protect his tools, workers before deadly ICE shooting. Harris County District Attorney speaks.
I thought wearing body cameras is like a requirement for them. You know, because they keep lying about shit that keeps happening.
Investigation into the deadly shooting involving ICE. Of course, he did not deserve to die, said family and community leaders. And on top of that, we now know that there were 3 other men who were in the van with the victim in the ICE shooting, and they're potential witnesses. But they're now under pressure to self-deport. A rep for the families tells me they remain in detention even as ICE's story falters. The families of the detained men who were in the van with the dead man are being represented by Proano of Lulac. He tells me the families have been able to contact the men in detention. They're being pressured to sign self-deportation orders. They murder this guy. There's 3 other witnesses, and they're trying to get the witnesses out of the country immediately. And because they have tremendous power over their freedom currently, they can probably get them to sign off on this. Again, this is not reformable. Yeah, one of the men is his brother. Yes, one of the 3 men is his brother. The young man on the left, if I recall correctly, said that his uncle was one of the 3 men in the car. How is this any different than Israel? It's not.
Earlier that day. Who does that? I mean, in what world do we live in where someone would remove all identifiable information?
I always thought it was a requirement they have to do.
For Ronaldo, who was on the site in direct conversation with the FBI. They dragged him along, they strung him along, and didn't give him the information that he should have had immediately as his son.
This is why it's not just abolish ICE.
Oh, they're never going to acknowledge the fact that children are magically. I mean, there's ICE detention facilities are filled with hundreds of different brand new generations of the Virgin Mary. Apparently it's not that much of a miracle. It happens all the time in the ICE detention facilities.
We have to abolish ICE and we have to punish ICE.
We're gonna end up with 100 kids named Jesus right this rate.
Law enforcement agency ever tries to do something like this again, no matter who's in charge, you get another despot in charge that tries to even entertain doing something like this, immediately the people, the law enforcement that is supposed to carry out those tasks go, nah, I'm out, I can't do it, I'm sorry. They have to be made an example of. Otherwise, we have no.
There was also that news story about the nun who stabbed herself. I think it was like 2 years ago now. Where she stabbed herself and claimed she was attacked by immigrants.
For him to be able to.
But then, you know, she got found out for lying about it.
You know, there would be.
Because she was just a racist lady who wanted people to attack immigrants.
You know, come back to us if that were to happen.
Turns out none can be bad people sometimes too, but I guess I don't think that's the nun the ICE agents arrested.
Identify themselves through their vehicles.
So he did try to hit them with his van? No, dog. ICE did. ICE instigated it. You can see in the footage random black cars running up, no lights. They start ramming into your van. Do you not understand? I don't know how else to be clear about this. I don't know how to explain this to people who just don't understand it. Like,
yeah, they don't care about them at all. They're Christian in name only. They don't actually practice any of their faith unless, you know, they can use it as a means to justify their hate.
In an irresponsible manner, tried to ram the van into their cars or something like that. They
don't actually care. If Jesus was alive today, they'd call him a woke communist and arrest him. He'd be a woke leftist. He hangs out with prostitutes all the time.
The group that killed this person.
Doesn't sound very American Christian to me, does it?
Controlling every aspect of this. Local law enforcement can't even
fed and house the poor.
This is a direct crime that local law enforcement is refusing to prosecute. Another instance where a unaccountable federal agency has come into your town and assassinated one of your neighbors in broad daylight in the middle of day in the middle of the morning, and local law enforcement is not doing anything about it, and the other witnesses, the first-hand eyewitnesses of the crime, are slated to be deported from the country.
Yes, I do. It was a I believe it was a pastor of a megachurch.
The man ICE killed in Houston.
Mega churches they're a whole different brand of cult, in my opinion. I know some people who have joined what looks like to be like mega churches, and like the way it just rots their brains and makes them into the most hateful people in the world is insane.
Here in black, trying to force the car going the opposite direction. Now this is
even though they themselves are foreigners and immigrants.
Ultimately shot.
Like, how the hell are you hating people when your name is Indian and your skin color is brown? How are you mad against other people for doing the exact same thing you're doing? It's like putting up the ladder behind them, but at the same time, like, they are straight up hating on themselves too. But I guess they think they're one of the good ones, don't they? And they'll be exempt.
She's telling women to have more babies than they can afford. Well, the Trump administration, they're making sure that includes teenagers. Because you have Trump's Department of Health and Human Services announcing that it is canceling millions of dollars in teen pregnancy prevention grants in the name of restructuring priorities. And their given reason is, quote, misalignment with agency priorities, specifically normalizing sexual activity for minors. So you have that money apparently being redirected into funding streams that more closely adhere to the conservative agenda, with a notice from HHS reading. The goal of this initiative is to identify effective interventions focused on body literacy and ensuring transparency and protection of parental rights, and to disseminate the research findings and lessons learned to inform future study. And obviously, you got a lot of people that are not in favor of this move, and that includes Healthy Futures of Texas, which provides sexual health education to community centers and school districts in San Antonio, Dallas, and the Rio Grande Valley. Right, they've spent months jumping through hoops to try to keep their funding after the Trump administration fired a warning shot against the teen pregnancy prevention program last year, where you had them issuing a notice saying that programs that use federal funding will need to make sure all their materials, quote, reflect the immutable biological reality of sex, not radical gender ideology, and may not promote anti-American ideologies such as discriminatory equity ideology. And with that, threatening to yank funding for any program that doesn't adhere to those rules. And so Healthy Futures actually changed the material, revising 11 different programs to make sure that they were good. They were even re-awarded their federal grants twice. So then you had them completely being caught off guard when it was yanked out of nowhere. Ginger Mullaney, the president and CEO, saying, "I'm frustrated that these are lives that were being changed. There's generational impact and social and economic mobility for our communities using programs that are proven and demonstrated."
Yeah, the issue is, like, no matter how much you educate kids about this sort of thing, it's not going to help them when an adult wants to take advantage of them, right? That's the issue.
I mean, you had Congress creating the official revenue stream in 2010 in order to, quote, put in place the programs that have been shown to be effective in reducing teen pregnancy, increasing healthy behaviors.
I don't think any of those teen pregnancies happened because those kids didn't know how to use condoms. I'm pretty sure a large portion of those happened because an adult took advantage of someone who could not consent.
More likely to have lower lifetime earnings.
I'm sure that adult knew the importance of using condoms as well and choose not to do so.
For resources after seeing several of her classmates end up pregnant. Where you've got Paige saying she learned about safe sex and birth control, all from other indigenous people, and adding that she was heartbroken when the workshop that she planned to attend this summer was canceled because their funding was pulled. Saying, in all honesty, I'm very sad and disappointed. When you participate and you learn from people like you, like in indigenous communities, that means a lot more because
only in America can taking away education from people be something that the people cheer on.
Makes you kind of want to listen more. But despite the proof that these are beneficial programs that help both teens and taxpayers, right? I mean, one study found that teen pregnancies, they actually cost taxpayers over $9 billion a year. It still got the axe. What makes this even crazier is that you have these major names in the conservative space advocating that women, and maybe not teens, but still very young women, they should be embracing a more traditional role and having more babies even before they're ready.
Because they rely on people being misinformed or ill-informed, right?
Like Elon Musk would probably mail you some semen if you asked really nicely.
A lot of right-wing conservative media and politics in general relies on people not being educated or knowing better.
Hell yeah, Erica, let's all fuck ourselves into poverty. Yeah, that's something she really said, and it was met with applause. And so you've got this message out there that women, they should be having babies that they are not ready for, and resources that are preventing teen pregnancy, they're being ripped away in the name of preventing normalizing sexual activity for minors. Which again, side note, being pushed by a lot of people that also did not want the Epstein files to come out. Just feel like we should throw that out there, since a lot
the Venn diagram for that is literally just one circle.
And then it's like, oh, well, when we do think of the children, your name, for some reason, seems like like a red flag. All while, like, you have experts saying the strategy here just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Or you've got people like Nicholas Mark, a sociologist at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, calling the framework bizarre and saying in a world where teens have smartphones, teens are surrounded by sex and such easy access to sex and sexual imagery, sexual iconography, it seems silly to think that having a source of verifiable, trusted information on safe sex would be worse than the information environment that people are already steeped in. And that's also something you've seen echoed by Democrats.
Yeah, because they're still cutting funding away from school and education and teachers, right? They're not paying teachers enough.
Election, you had 79 House Democrats writing a letter.
Like every year, it just gets worse and worse for them.
Instructions like this, quote, undermine the ability of the program to serve its congressionally intended purpose of giving young people the knowledge and tools needed to improve sexual and reproductive health outcomes and promote positive experiences, relationships, and environments that help our nation's youth thrive. But really, I wouldn't count on it until after the midterms.
I mean, the most clear example of that is how you look at when you look at how Americans treat homeless people, right? They think homeless people should be arrested, which means they understand. They're okay with these people being housed and, you know, being fed. They just want them to suffer and, you know, be inhumanely treated. Because the end result is the same. They're being housed and fed. It's just in a really shitty situation. And sometimes they're even forced into labor, because obviously prisons are just legalized slavery in America these days, isn't it? It's like it would have cost less to just make socialized housing for them to be safe and, you know, have shelter in.
With me, and today I would like to go over them. I'm Matthew Renato, the streamer known online as Miskiff. In the court filings, my name is also spelled Mizrandino. This is about Emily Shunk, the streamer online known as Emaru, who I was in a relationship with for about 3 years.
Every single time I see anti-homeless architecture, like benches and stuff, and how uncomfortable they are for just everyone involved, I just think of like how much money was wasted on this shit. It's gentrification happening around us in real time.
In October of 2025, on a live stream to her audience of millions, she accused me of sexual assault, stalking, and abuse. I deny those accusations completely. To be clear about the setup, I am the one who went to court. I sued her for defamation, meaning for making false accusations that damaged me. A court has since ordered me to lay out one statement.
In fact, before we watch this, I've got an ad break coming up in a moment. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to book with BRB, I'm going to refill my water bottle, and then we're going to watch this. So enjoy whichever ad shows up, and I'll be back in just a moment. Be right back. Shower or use deodorant. Calling him a biohazard is putting him lightly. I generally think this motherfucker needs to be quarantined. I think he's got more cultures of bacteria on his fucking flesh than like in a fucking biohazard research facility. I think he's got more fucking deadly diseases on him than a fucking Umbrella Corporation underground lab. I think he's going to be patient zero for the next 12 different pandemics. Before I take out the end, I must do what any gentleman would do, and that's teabagging. It's a ritual we need to go through. When I like taken out, it's going to be the end of this life. It's difficult as I did. So, you know, it's only right for me to do this to try and get him out. Why would you enjoy someone else? xenophobia warning for anyone who does not like spiders. Before we do though.
Rich from Steelix asked me thoughts on Trump openly endorsing Jake Paul for a future U.S. presidency over your dead art, and also how all of us are better than you from the fiery pits of hell, where I just debated the late Rush Limbaugh on why the devil's pitchfork is overrated. I challenge you, Rich from Steelix.
Mispronouncing your name.
Trump didn't mean that as a brilliant 4D chess move against the woke left. Jake Paul, a fighter, not a president, unlike me, who arm every citizen with AR-15s for real security. And you all better? 73% of you can't even spell debate without autocorrect. Prove me wrong, cowards. I edit nothing except losses on
The squad have returned. Let's get back to actually watching this video.
Exactly what she said, that is false. This is me doing that. With the public court record and
I
her
want to see
own
these
words
receipts.
placed next to each claim so you can weigh it for yourself. Here's what's changed. After her October 2025 live stream, the accusation spread everywhere. And to most people, the story was already settled. I was guilty. But what
Hold
changed?
on, let me scroll up, I think.
2026, a federal judge reviewed
Sorry
the
about pushed it
request
up.
to throw my entire case out and recommended the opposite, that it moves forward. So here's the accusations that she made on stream. These are in her words as the judge quoted them. On October 2025, near the start of her live stream, by the
I
magistrate
did not hear it. I'm going to have to look into the
of
RFK
the transcript, she said she was
planning to put people on certain medications into wellness forms. I've not seen that stuff yet, but I'll need to look into that one.
abuse, stalking, and
Because that sounds very dystopian to me.
threats of blackmail that Ms. Kiff has done towards me, and some of these issues which are still on.
But it wouldn't surprise me because that man is full of shit
Magistrate judge in my case
and legitimately insane with the shit he comes up with sometimes.
of engaging in serious sexual misconduct is defamation per se. In plain terms, defamation per se means that falsely accusing someone of a crime is treated by the law as damaging on its face. So the harm does not have to be proven separately. Those are accusations of crimes. I deny every one of them. And the judge did not leave that standard in the abstract, applying it to her sexual assault accusation in the same opinion. She found that accusation reasonably capable of a defamatory meaning and allowed my defamation claim to move forward. If you
Yeah,
want
it's
to
just
find any
unfortunate that it's come to that right
a
now.
link below where you can read everything. For the
Because that's
first
something that should be
time,
helping
I
them,
spoke
not
to
hindering them.
My account has not changed. The same denial, the same story, the same detail. I have never had to take anything back because I have never lied. She has, repeatedly, through this entire process. And I'm going to walk you through the lies in her own filings and her words. The same filing has her calling one live stream spontaneous, unedited, and unscripted in one document, and describing a lawyer's review and prepared notes in another. It has her swearing in a footnote that we did not get back together, while 2 months of her messages say that we did. It was her announcing a restraining order in 2 states that she never filed. Those are not differences of memory, they are lies, and the records are right here. The first thing that people told about me were that he admitted to everything. I never did, and I never moved off my own story. The first thing most people heard about was not that the accusations itself, it was that I had gone on my own stream and admitted to all of it. This is false. I deny these claims from the beginning, and I've said that in the same thing every day since. Almost no one listened to my side. Before I went live, Emery went live first. She told the world that I sexually assaulted her, abused her, and stalked her, before I had a single word in my defense. I deny those accusations completely. The word that came next, rapist, came from everyone who heard her and ran with it. The verdict was in before I even said a single word. And when I did go live, I told my side, and I have stuck with it word for word to today. She has not. She has done exactly one live stream. And across that single stream, her story does not hold together. It has contradictions that are laid out in the sections that follow, in her own filings and her own words. One account has never changed. The other keeps changing. So why does the false version that
It's part 1 as well. I'm interested to see why he puts out for part 2.
Almost no one
From the looks of it, a lot of people are on his side for this one.
People pulled small clips from my about 30-minute response, cut away the context, and wrapped their own narrative around it for views and for clips. And the reach was never close to her. So in Emeru's filing, her motion calls it spontaneous. Her own transcript has her describing a lawyer's review and prepared notes. In her motion to dismiss, her attorney describes the stream this way in regards to the sexual assault. The live stream was spontaneous, unedited, and unscripted, speaking openly and vulnerably in the moment. In her declaration, she states
Let me write that one down.
transcript of the live stream is accurate, a true and correct copy.
I'll look
And she
into
says
them.
that 18 minutes and 5 seconds into that stream, I have been in contact with my lawyer. I had them review everything that I'm planning to say today. And across that same broadcast, she keeps refuting to how prepared she was. It was not just on a whim, she says. I took a lot of notes. I just ended up reading off my own.
Yeah, I think I found their
So my
channel.
attorney puts it in court directly. Shunk should not be heard now to argue that her defamatory comments were some off-the-cuff, spontaneous, emotional response, when she specifically stated that not only were her comments thoroughly planned out and scripted, that they were in fact reviewed by counsel in advance to the live stream. So her brief on the stream
Yeah, all right,
was
I've got that
spontaneous
down
and
there.
unscripted. Her
I'll look
own
into them.
filed transcript has her saying a lawyer reviewed and it read from notes. Both are her words. In the same case, they describe the same 90 minutes 2 different ways. The sexual assault allegations, she called it sexual assault. Here's what she said happened and what I did. She told her audience and later the court that what happened between us on one night was sexual assault, a crime. She named it on the live stream, where she made her own other accusations. Then she went over what she says happens that night. These are her own words, as quoted in my complaint. He started kissing my face and I let him do it. And then suddenly,
I remember this being the big thing everyone had a problem with. And probably, yeah, called him an abuser or
and I
whatever.
screamed. And when I screamed, he jumped off of me like a cat. Here's what I have to say about that, plainly. I did what any man should do in the situation. She made it clear that she didn't want it, and I stopped. I respected her not consenting. I did the right thing in that situation. And look closely at her own account, because on the thing that matters the most, it agrees with me. The moment she reacted, I stopped. When I screamed, he jumped off of me, like a cat. As her words, not mine. I did not push past her. I did not ignore her. The instant I understood that she was not okay, I stopped. I did not sexually assault her and deny it completely. Here's word for word from the transcript filed. In this case, is what I exactly said on that stream. This was never a confession, and it was denial. And I wrote, I knew the relationship wasn't healthy at this point. I knew we had to end it soon. Emmy posted a very provocative picture, one that she knew I would hate, and she posted it to make me upset. She admitted she made me upset.
This
with
was
it.
one of the issues a lot of people had, is him chasing her and then being upset about her being caught and posting pictures on the internet. I mean, I'm not discrediting any of the things he said right now about her lying and whatever, but this mindset about being upset about your partner posting hot pictures on the internet after you choose to date them because you like them because they're posting hot pictures on the internet is kind of loser mentality. I've got to call that bit out at least.
And we got into
Why would anyone be upset about what their partner was posting on the internet?
Then we got back together because we thought we could make it work. We went to get food at BJ's, a common place where we would get food. And then we went back to her house. We cuddled for about 30 minutes and we started to kiss.
It's massive insecurity, isn't
Okay
it?
with it on her stream, and I started to advance to the next stage because I thought that's what she wanted. She yelped, and I immediately sprung up and was scared if I did anything wrong or did wrong in general.
Look, I get that he's talking about, obviously, himself being a victim of someone else's lies and false accusation, but there are some faults that he does also need to admit to. Like, it's hard not to ignore that.
So why does this false version?
It's not a crime or anything.
Everything.
It's just insecure loser behavior.
Very clear that up until that moment, Emeru and I had been dating.
It can be seen as controlling and abusive depending on how far it went.
But we immediately got back together. And through the past last year of our relationship, we were constantly breaking up with each other, and then we would repeatedly have sex, and get back together. So this is just one of those moments. To date, there is no evidence of a police report or any other legal action over the incident she alleges happened around October 2024, despite her public statements in October 2025, where she said to her audience that she was seeking a restraining order.
I am already in the process of filing a restraining order on him in both Texas and California.
20 months have now passed since the alleged incident without a single criminal complaint, restraining order, or investigation appearing in any record in California or Texas. The only active case arising from any of this is my defamation lawsuit that I brought against her. The total absence of any official action over
it might be different in the US, but I always assume that you don't really need any evidence or anything to file a restraining order against someone, at least in my experience. And I think I don't know, it might be a different thing between the UK or US, but you can legitimately just go to the police. And I think in the UK, I think it's called like a non-molestation order. You can just say, hey, I don't want this person coming anywhere near me or stalking me or being around me or whatever. And in most cases, they won't give a shit as to why. They'll say, okay, cool, you can do that. You're allowed to protect your space in any way you want. So I have no idea. I don't know if it might be different in America. Maybe you need to have like a valid reason to do that. But like being left alone isn't like a difficult thing to achieve. And even if they do ask, you can't just say safety reasons or whatever.
Finally did raise it a full year after the date. She points to
like it's a weird thing for her to lie about. She could have just gotten the restraining order. It wouldn't be that difficult because she had actual like reason to do so, and she could give a valid reason for it.
Necessary stream because I have heard that he has done things to other people that align with some of my own experiences. So I felt like it would be wrong for me to keep holding on to all this information. And here is what does not fit an assault. We kept dating for months afterward. Her own messages laid out in the next two sections show her coming over, cooking me dinner, asking to sleep together, calling me babe, messaging me, Merry Christmas, babe. When it ended in January 2025, I was the one who walked away, and she is the one who did not want to split up. Her lawyers swore in a footnote that we did not get back together after the assault. Her own messages in the section below say otherwise. That is a lie, and in the record proves it. In court, she changed what the accusations even were. In public, Emaru called the accusations sexual assault, the crime. But once I sued her, her lawyers argued that her own words were never factually a claim at all. Only her protected...
Didn't she change it to emotional abuse? Yeah, emotional abuse.
And I quote,
that's one of the things that people made people start doubting her, is when she changed from saying it was assault to emotional abuse.
Not some statement of decisive fact. My attorneys answered that with one line. Emotional truth is not a recognized defense to defamation in Texas. And this is not just my side spin on her defense. The magistrate judge, restating Shunk's own motion in her own words, described it in exactly those terms. She also argues that her statement, considered in its entirety, was an opinion or her protected emotional truth. The judge did not buy it on the part that matters the most. Vague feelings about a relationship can be protected opinion. But falsely accusing someone of sexual assault, the judge held, is different because those words can only mean one thing, that I committed a crime. She found exactly that about Shunk's accusation. Considering the gist of Shunk's statement, which included allegations of sexual assault, the court finds that it was reasonably capable of a defamatory meaning. He plausibly pleads a claim for defamation against Shunk based on her allegedly untrue statement that includes allegations of sexual assault.
I think this mostly takes place in Texas. As I mentioned, Texas and LA.
Never produced a police report. We dated for months after that, the night that she points to. And when I took her to court,
I think he lives in LA.
Those words were not a factual accusation, but her feelings, her emotional truth. The federal magistrate judge recommended that my defamation claim goes forward on exactly that statement, and in her exact words, found it reasonably capable of a defamatory meaning. Her filings say we never got back together. The The messages from those months say otherwise. In her brief reply, her lawyer stated in a footnote, for clarity, Shunk and Mizrandino did not get back together after the assault. Sadly, this is a common tactic by abusers to try to justify their behavior towards victims. But on her own live stream, she described that same breakup as nothing more than a short period. A short period is a brief break, and then we got back together. So let me be exact about the timeline, because this is where people have gotten confused. According to Emiru and her lawyers, we broke up in October 2024, and they told the court that we never got back together. Every message below is after that. On November 18th, I told Emiru that she can come over, and she said, is it okay if my alarms go off at 10, LOL? I said, sure. On December 16th, I ask if she wants to come over, she tries to call my phone. On December 18th, she makes me salmon for dinner. When I tell her my uncle died, she asks if I want to come over, and she does. On December 21st, she asks to come shower at my place. Can I still come over tonight? Because she wanted to sleep with me. You know how you said my shower was cold? Obviously, I was at her place. My hot water completely is out now. I want to shower at your place. I'll just get up early again.
I'm guessing they both live in Texas
On
then.
December 25th, Christmas, she said hi. And
I don't think she'll be getting on a plane from Texas to LA for a shower like that.
Couple that is broken up. On December 30th, 2024, we sleep together. Me, okay, I'm going to bed. Emiru said, okay. I then said, I'm just getting ready. Emiru said, do you want to sleep together? I then said, yeah. Keep in mind that a lot of the calls that we would have with each other are not shown because we called each other every single day as we slept with each other every single night. January the 15th to 18th, I call her babe.
I imagine a lot of Emiru fans are really upset at him saying that.
2024 breakup, as she describes.
Because they are weirdly parasocial about her.
November, December, and January, all after that date, the filing and the messages describe two different relationships. Our next point, she also says that she ended the relationship. But here's what actually happened the morning I walked out. We were together on and off for 3 years. Our relationship we kept hidden from almost everyone around us. But near the end, we broke up, we got back together more times than I can count. I wanted space and she wanted to move closer. I told her I wanted her to move out and that I wanted space, and it was a line that never healed. The week of our official breakup in January, we had agreed to finally sit down and each say what we wanted for the future. We slept at her house. On the morning of January 23rd, 2025, she handed me a note, and in it, she wrote that she wanted to marry me, that she wanted to build a life and move into an apartment right next to me, because she knew how
Some Emiru fans must be losing it out of this.
And I looked at it. I looked at her, and I handed it back to her. I told her, I can't do this anymore, and I'm sorry. And the last thing I heard as I was closing her front door, and she said, don't go. This is who ended it. So in my complaint, I said, he called off the relationship in January 2025. So to be exact, the exact date that our relationship ended was on January 23rd, 2025. I left Austin in early February, first for Japan, and the move to Los Angeles came afterwards. After 2 trips overseas, the day by day in the timeline is going to be shown. These messages are shown with me and at one point my best friend Extra Emily. So Extra Emily knew that I wanted to break up with Emiru for a long time, and these messages are on the exact date that I broke up with Emiru on January 23rd, 2025. I messaged her and I said, bitch, I did it. I ended it. Emily said, shut up, no way.
I'm pretty sure Extra Emily's part of like the whole friend group with Emiru and so on. So I have to wonder how this is going to go down. Knowing like your friends were excited that your ex dumped you like this. Like I think this might be a thing that causes more drama than anything else that he's posted so far amongst the friend group. Because I think they care more about what they were saying behind each other's backs like this than they do about stuff that I'm pretty sure they're already aware of, like the whole Emiru lying about how long the relationship lasted for, because they would have been aware of that as it was happening, right?
I'm free to call whenever.
Hello to you both, douche canoes, I guess. I'm hoping you're doing well. I'm watching the Emiru files about how apparently she lied about Miskiff and falsely accused him of assault, which it's not looking good for her so far. I'm hoping you're having a good weekend.
With extra Emily.
Hoping you're having a better weekend than she's having, because Emiru's not having a good one by the looks of this.
This is January 25th, 2025. Extra Emily says, okay. And then she says, she texted me to talk. I'm pretending like you didn't tell me the news. Okay, I'm talking to her on the phone soon. I then said, are you streaming tomorrow? And she said, no. So if this doesn't prove that Emiru is lying, that who broke up with who, I don't know what does. So now we're going to move on to the
He did, genuinely.
And where I actually was.
Andre Rose, hello. How are you doing today?
2025, about 10 days after we broke up, I flew to Japan. The reason why I flew to Japan is that I knew if I stayed in Austin, that we were just going to get back together and get in the same loop that we had been in for almost a year.
I'm hoping you're both doing well.
2025, I came back to Austin.
Like I said, I hope you're having a better weekend than Emiru here has been having.
This is when my friend Simply had a party, which is the one that she ties to stalking, was on February 23rd, 2 days after I landed, about a month after we broke up. On March 16th, 2025, I flew back to Japan and stayed there for nearly 2 months. On May 12th, 2025, I returned
I'm hoping you're having a good time in London. I've been meaning to go there for a while, actually, while the weather's good. Like, there's a lot of stuff I want to do in London.
Stalking means being near.
So I want to check out the the National History Museum. Still has its Pokemon exhibit still going on.
After we ended it, I was on another.
And a few other things I can't remember. But I had a list of things I want to do.
Distance between us.
I might need to make a day trip down there at some point.
And on my own stream, here is what I exactly said about it. That week, I made flights to Japan because I didn't want to sit around and wait possibly to get back together again. I have never talked to her in person since.
What kind of D&D stuff have you been working on? Because I was meant to be streaming D&D today, actually, but one of my players is at a LARP event.
One of my close
and I'll probably be doing a one-shot next week, maybe, depending on if everyone else is available.
I said, whoops, I want to make it very clear I was not following her. It just happened that I was with someone she knew the entire night. The house is about 2,000 square feet with about...
Oh yeah, this heat has been unbearable.
I, of course, was near her.
I think we're getting to the point where, like, the UK might actually need, like, genuine air conditioning.
She calls stalking is a party. Here is how she described it on her own stream from the certified transcript she filed herself. I made the mistake of thinking that I only had to cut him off through personal private communication, but I also had to start avoiding going to the same parties or places I was worried he'd be. There was a party that I attended. I was aware that he would be there, and I thought it wouldn't be a big deal. We're adults.
Oh, that sounds like a fun time.
During this party, I felt like he was following me around and monitoring me, but I thought that that was just being...
I hope you enjoyed the sunshine while we have it.
Later, the room that we're in, the door opens, it's Miz. He opens the door, makes eye contact with me, goes, ooh.
I've also been working on some D&D stuff, specifically actually Call of Cthulhu stuff. I'm not sure if you play Call of Cthulhu much, but I like doing Cthulhu one-shots, and I've been doing some of the official ones, and they've been some of the most fun I've had as a DM in a while.
Obviously not stalking. She was never cut off.
Because I use Foundry VTC, and there are a few really good like maps from some artists I support on Patreon.
She didn't block me.
That I really enjoyed using, like, really high quality stuff. And I just want an excuse to use them more, basically.
Choosing not to answer someone while never blocking them, while leaving every channel they could use to reach you wide open, and while showing no sign that you want them to stop, is not the same as being stalked. She also knew that I was going to be there. In her own words, she was aware that I would be there and chose to attend the same party. Going somewhere you knew.
Good question, because like I think he might genuinely have like a case against her at this point.
She also says that she felt and thought she was paranoid. She does not.
And he says he's taking the court, but it's going to depend on how she
said that she
responds about this.
And twice told
like she's not been very active recently about this sort of. I don't think she streamed or posted anything about this. I imagine her lawyer probably advised her not to.
About 30 minutes later, I opened a door, saw that she was inside, and said, ooh, and walked away. Stalkers follow you. They obsess over you. They don't open a door at your friend's party and walk away. This is the entire first-hand account in her own filing. On the strength of it, that she listed stalking among the crimes she accused me of.
Thing is, though, she's quite big and quite famous. Like, she can legitimately probably just carry on streaming and ignore all of this and still have a following, which is unfortunately the case when someone is famous enough. They can straight up just ignore any controversies.
Distance possible between themselves and the other person, not following them. And while she was calling me a stalker...
Yeah, pretty much. She's like the poster child for, like, if you're hot enough and famous enough, you can literally ignore every controversy you've ever faced.
Spreading a version of events I had no opportunity to answer.
Because horny 12-year-olds are going to continue watching you, no matter what slop you put out.
In 2 states. Emeru said, and I quote, "I'm already in the process of filing a restraining order on him."
I mean, you're not wrong. Trump and Sniper Wolf are cutting same cloth, to be honest.
It is not in her motion. It is not in her sworn declaration. It is not in her first reply. She has not produced one or any as of today, roughly 8 months later. After she announced it, there is still no restraining order or protective order of any kind against me that has appeared in Texas or California. My own attorney has received none, and the people who follow the case closely, watching for any filings of any type, have also found none. And the timing is the whole point. In both states she named, an emergency order is built to be fast because it's meant for people in real danger. In California, a judge can grant a temporary restraining order the same day you apply, with a full hearing set.
Apparently he's got a court case ready to go against her about basically a defamation case at the moment.
The same day on a finding, a clear and present danger, with a hearing within 14 days. Someone who genuinely needs protection can have a temporary order in hours, not months. She said that she was already in the process in October 2025. 8 months later, there is nothing. She also told her audience that my lawsuit was a bluff, that I couldn't win. In nearly the same breath, she predicted that I would sue her and waved it off in advance as meaningless. She put, and I quote, "I would not be surprised if he tries to sue me for the stream that I did today and for coming out about him, not because he thinks that he would win, but for PR reasons."
Also, I'm not sure, have you ever played Delta Green? Because that is a RPG, because I know it was originally a module for Call of Cthulhu that they eventually spun off into their own system. So that's one I've been considering looking into running maybe as a series of one-shots or something, because I really love playing Cthulhu a lot. And it seems like basically my kind of jam.
That it moves forward. She told her audience I could not win.
Dude, before you joined in, I was talking about how Sony have endangered all the evil spirits and curses that are inhabiting physical media, like Sadako from The Ring. And can you believe that? Like, think of all the ghosts that are trapped in VHS tapes and Blu-rays and all sorts of like physical objects. Where are they going to go when Sony stops making physical media?
The part that she leaves out about the party. Simply, whose party it was is one of my closest friends. We lived together for years. And at the time, we were going through our both breakups and dealing with our own problems. When I got back from Japan, he is the one who invited me. I was not there to find her. While Simply was giving me a tour of his house, I opened the door, I saw 4 OTK members sitting there in the corner, and closed it. That is the whole
haunting AI data centers
that she describes.
Oh man, that's a scary thought. Imagine trying to generate... Oh no, that's a fucking good idea for a horror story. Imagine trying to generate an AI image of or someone, like whatever creepy shit people do with AI, right? And every single image they generate is of a dead person that keeps showing up because the AI data center is haunted. That's a really good modern sort of horror story. No, legitimately, I think that's the genuine modern direction horror story is going to go, because instead of having ghosts like Sadako in a VHS tape like The Ring was all about, right? They're going to stop doing that because Sony don't make Blu-rays anymore. So what's going to happen instead is AI data centers are going to end up being full of ghosts. And I really hope this happens at some point. This is a good idea. So no one does this. I might do this, but like, imagine, some creepy fucking weirdo that likes to make AI images of people, but every single time he tries to make an image, it's a dead person who keeps showing up or maybe someone that they killed. Who knows? Maybe this is a murderer being haunted by someone he killed because they keep showing up like in the background of the AI image or something. And every single time they try to use magic eraser to get rid of them, they won't go away. Like, this is modern day horror gold right now. This could be a great horror. Yeah, like Obsession did it really well. This is like the every time. Oh, do you know the episode of Doctor Who with the weeping angel that's like on camera and it's moving in the live footage and it's getting closer to the camera till eventually it comes out? Maybe it can be something like that. Every single time they regenerate the image, the ghost in the background is getting closer and closer. And like, maybe at first they didn't notice it, but then they start noticing it and it's like, oh shit, but I still need to generate this for whatever fucking weird reason people make AI images. That would be like really fucking good, right? Who knows? Maybe we need a horror movie about AI like that to stop people from using it. Maybe that's what we need.
She describes as stalking. The moment she describes a tour of my best friend's house is...
I will let you score the soundtrack for it. Maybe I want... Okay, what kind of soundtrack would I want for it? I'm considering this. Modern day horror movie. I would like a synth soundtrack, but that would be if it was set in the 80s or something. It would be lots of piano, maybe violins, string instruments.
That was it. And she somehow labeled that as stalking. In May of 2025, 5 months...
No, I think that's too cliche for modern horror movies. I think because the horror is the data center, it needs to be sort of maybe...
And sat with how to respond.
Maybe more digital music, if you know what I mean.
It had to be AI. She said, and I quote...
Not synths, because that'll be too retro.
A massive apology message, and I wasn't sure, like, what to respond. I showed a couple...
Maybe something like Skrillex.
This is literally...
Maybe I'll have you collab with Skrillex for something.
Someone sent me like a massive apology message, and
Dubstep would be very similar to Tron, in my opinion. Maybe, it'd have to be AI music.
This is literally chat.
Well, a Seraph asked me, it had to be AI. What nonsense, of course it had to be AI. Everything's AI now, even the bad ideas.
Oh, Squidward. Skill Rex. The only Skrillex song I enjoy is the one that he did for Kingdom Hearts 3 with the Hikaru Utada. Because that song is genuinely a banger. It's mostly because she never misses.
LGBT, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm not responding.
Let me rewind that bit because I missed this bit. I was too busy talking about this banger horror idea.
5 months after we broke up, I sent her a long message by her own account on her own stream. She received it and sat with how to respond until her friends told her it had to be AI. She said, and I quote, I had someone send me a massive apology message and I wasn't sure, like, what to respond. I showed a couple of friends and they were like, this is literally ChatGPT.
I had someone send me a massive apology message, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to respond, so I showed a couple friends and they were like, Emmy, this is literally ChatGPT. And I was like, oh. I guess I'm not responding.
You could put it back into ChatGPT and be like, is this...
Yeah, no, they did, and ChatGPT said it's probably ChatGPT.
No, I don't think she will, actually. I think what's most likely gonna happen is that she'll take a 6-month break, or maybe even 4 months at that, and then she'll come back, but she'll only come back to a limited selection of platforms. Maybe she'll only do YouTube, or she'll only do Twitch, and she won't be on Twitter or any of the other platforms that she's on, like Instagram. To somewhat fly under the radar for a bit longer on those ones where people will have a longer memory.
Think about that. I would like to now talk about the abuse claim that Emery tried to hint at on her stream. Here's the truth, in my own words. I have never hit Emery. The one physical thing that ever happened was an accident. I had a habit of tossing my phone onto my bed, and one time it bounced off the mattress and caught her in the eye, and it left a bruise. I felt terrible about it. I apologized immediately. I stopped throwing my phone that day and we moved past it. That is the only time I ever hurt her, and it was not on purpose. What makes that more than just my word is that, at the time, her own account matched it in 2022. When she had the bruise, she did not call it abuse to anyone. She called it an accident both publicly and in private. In Emiru's best friend at the time's chat room on August 11, 2022, surrounded by all of Emiru's close friends and even her brother, she said the same thing. When a friend asked her directly whether something had given her the black eye, she answered that it was not intentional and called the whole thing a funny story that she would explain later. Bo Batum, did someone knock you out, Emily? Emiru said, not intentionally. I got a black eye a week or two and it's finally almost gone. It's a long story, but funny as fuck. LOL, I'll DM you later. There was never a police report. There is nothing in any record from that time that treats this as an abuse in calls, text messages, or anything that me and Emiru had. It was not called intentional abuse until 3 years later when Emiru went live. The bruise never changed. The story about it did. I will also have more messages about this.
I'm trying to look at it subjectively as possible. I'm pretty sure in a court, a lot of that will be like probably dismissed because it's so circumstantial. Like his claim is somewhat dependent on the fact that there's no, on the lack of evidence. There's no like actual police report or anything. Like that kind of goes. I want to say both ways. That's not really the case. I think it's like, okay, it doesn't prove one thing, but it doesn't prove the other either.
Show.
It's circumstantial, isn't
This
it?
was never abuse, and Emiru has changed the story of it to fit her narrative to make people think that I am a monster.
I think that's one of the parts of his argument that's a little weak.
Stalking and abuse. These are all crimes. In the time since, there has been no arrest.
I don't think those chat messages are really going to hold up in court, are they?
No police complaints against me have surfaced anywhere in this case. On January 15, 2025, the federal magistrate judge has said to the district judge, the Honorable Robert Pittman, that she would deny defendant Emily Beth Shunk's motion to dismiss the First Amendment complaint, the order in which Ms. Rondino is to submit a more definitive statement within 30 days identifying each statement by Shunk he alleges to be defamatory, including the exact quotes from her live stream and how each statement is untrue and how it harms him.
So what this essentially means is that Emiru's motion to dismiss did not go through, and that we are continuing the court case. That recommendation still goes to the district judge for a final decision, and that same recommendation is why this record exists. The court told me to spell it out one by one, exactly what she said that I allege is false, and how it harmed me.
This is what I'm doing. It is the court letting my case move forward, not a verdict, and I won't describe it as one. To much of the internet,
Like from the looks of it, he's done his due diligence and he's got a lot of evidence that does back up most of what he's saying. I don't know if the court will agree with him on everything, but I think they will on a good number of his points.
And hand it to people who used to watch me.
Probably enough for him to get the win anyway.
And people who have never met me. It has cost me my reputation that I've worked 10 years for. It is
obviously it does depend on what he puts out in part 2 and how she responds to it as well, because this is only part 1 apparently.
Making content, getting sponsors, and using the platform I spent years building, the same community she built her following on. And it did not stay online. At multiple events, I have been called a rapist. And at one event, minutes after I picked up a wristband, 3 security guards walked me out in front of everyone, and posts mocking me for it reached hundreds of thousands of people. I've been called a rapist to my face in bars and restaurants for most of the last 8 months, and I decided to stay inside because of that. This is a girl named Meg who said, imagine being such a prick you got kicked out of the FlyQuest party after showing up uninvited. This is another tweet. LOL, Mizkif got kicked out of the FlyQuest party after getting rejected on the Partyful app. And then someone asked, what is this party? Also, what is the Partyful ALR? Thanks for ahead of time. She said, TLDR, he was rejected from an esports party, showed up anyway, and got kicked out instantly. So they tried to paint a narrative that I was.
I do think it's kind of stupid for him to attend an event
that I was not
when he knows everyone there's going to hate him and the reputation he currently has. Even if he knows he was innocent, he should know that at the moment, public opinion against him
just texted me and said
means it would not end.
hundreds of parties before Emery's
Like, I think that's somewhat of a victim complex he's got going on there. Like, dude, why'd you go to the event if you knew that everyone would know the news about you? Even if you are, like, currently building your own, like, lawsuit against her and, like, you know, the counter case and all that stuff. Like, it just seems really stupid to me, right? Getting rejected for that one party and now crying about it. I think this is just him expecting everyone to turn a blind eye to what goes on in the news. I think that's just kind of... This is pretty stupid, honestly. That one was very stupid.
In any way, shape, or form. And I got texted by Alana.
I don't know what he expected, let's be honest.
With my friend Jeannie. We show up. We did get wristbands immediately, and we were able to walk in. 15 minutes later was when I was escorted out.
Why is he surprised by this?
Getting into the party. I showed my ID just like everyone else and waited in line. And
I think showing the ID was the problem.
Only to be almost immediately let out. This was not a case of someone who was simply disliked. And before I left for Japan, after
Zamaki Shah Plays, hello, welcome on in. We're currently looking at this video about Emiru apparently
and while I was in Japan,
having a defamation lawsuit on her hands now.
My old friends and everyone that we were friends with, and spread lies about me. And instead of going to the police or any legal channel, she went straight to the people who mattered the most in my life and my career. Whether out of bitterness that I was the one who ended it, or for
Alright, this is an English only stream. If you're not speaking English, I'm gonna have to remove.
Not for anything I did, but for what she told them while I wasn't in the room. And the harm was done before I even said a single word.
Yeah, this is legitimately just him facing the consequences of his own actions. He should have known better.
And said that I was a rapist and destroyed my name. A false story then took hold that I had admitted to everything when I hadn't. When I spoke, I denied everything, and you can see it on my YouTube channel. And the file transcript proves it. But people who had already made up their mind repeated the false version anyway. Her words were chosen with care, precise enough to be legally actionable.
That's because I am, but it's not a Bengali stream, unfortunately.
She never had to say rapist. She said sexual assault. And to the millions of people that she said that to, people now call me rapist.
Because it wouldn't be fair for everyone else who are watching who don't understand Bengali.
It is every day. And that is why this record exists. Before the breakup, I was not an outcast as many of you think. I was the center of this community. This is the opposite of the story that people now tell about me. In the year before the breakup, 2024, my house was constantly having people there. I had 4 or 5 creators staying at my house almost every single night. I had Extra Emily who was in the backyard doing something. I
wonder if Extra Emily and Emily were still going to be friends after this. I wonder how many other friends of Emiru also were talking behind her back like this as well about their relationship. This is going to be interesting. I'm not a big fan of Extra Emily, to be honest. She's been caught screaming and almost having a car crash because she screams while she's driving multiple times. I think that should be something that people are definitely permanently banned for. Because distracted driving is a crime. That's what it is, right? Being on your phone whilst driving and almost killing someone, which she's done like 3 or 4 times now.
Streaming with others and collaborating with people across the entire Twitch scene.
In fact, other streamers have done the same. A lot of them do it on Kick.
I had over 100 collaborations with other creators, and I helped lead OnlyFans, the hardcore World of Warcraft guild that had over 300,000 active people checking in on it every single day, that Soda Poppin and I ran together, which brought more than 300 creators into the same guild. And that was just a single month. In October 2024, 3 months before our breakup, I collaborated with
I wouldn't blame you.
The Botes sisters,
so many of them have like baggage.
And Extra Emily. I had a boys' night with NMP, E-Rob, and my friend Dave. I went to go see all of the Game of Thrones collection before they went on auction, and I even hung out with Jason, Max, and Ron that year. I also collaborated with people like
I actually had someone, so I was making fun of Asmongold, as I do all the time, because he's such an easy target to make fun of, because his fans are so genuinely upset when you make fun of him, because they take it personally, because they are really fucking unwashed, small-minded incels as well, just like him. But like, I had someone, I think it was on TikTok actually, in one of my TikTok clips, where they saw me making fun of Asmongold for being an unwashed piece of shit. And they started comparing me to Markiplier as an insult because I think Markiplier had red hair at one point. And they're like, oh yeah, well, you look like Markiplier. Like, bro, is that supposed to be a fucking insult? That's, like, hang on, let me find it. Let's chat. Hang on, I'm pretty sure I took a screenshot of it. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, they were so upset about me making fun of Asmongold, where I said he needs a nuclear bath. I'm pretty sure. Oh, this is on my clip where I said how if he was sent to Chernobyl and full of, irradiated, I'm pretty sure there'd be less bacteria on him after he's been sterilized, and he'd probably be safer to be around. Pretty fucking good joke. And they think insulting me is comparing me to Markiplier. Which is the funniest thing, like, even in the comments here, they're still upset about it. Like, they're still, like, a lot of them were upset about it. Like, this guy here. And also this guy here. Like, Asmongold fans are the most fucking sensitive people you'll ever meet. Because they think that, they could be just like him for real and be millionaires too if they just stop showering and have really shitty opinions about trans people and gay people and people of color and women, basically.
Julia and Danny. Yes, people try to call me an outcast, but I was outcasted when I came back from Japan. To show you how little of an outcast
I've never even played Five Nights at Freddy's.
Me and my friend at the time, Leslie, who is also known online as Foosley. This was November 2nd.
A lot of people forget. I think that's part of the reason why they don't like Markiplier, because Markiplier is Asian and not white, and they don't like anyone who's not white. I think that's why they thought it'd be an insult. Because he's Korean, isn't he? Or part Korean. I think he's mixed race, isn't he?
Just 2 months before me and Emaru had broken up. I was in LA and I wanted to meet up with her, but she responded, I won't get to see you before you go, but I'm coming to Austin for OTK game day, so I'll see you in like 2 weeks. And then you
think he's right. He says he's slightly edited. Do you wanna know a fucking secret, right? Every streamer, like every big streamer now, edits their videos. As in, like, if they do something live on stream and they want to clip it for for YouTube or stuff later, and I don't do this obviously because I literally do things live on stream and then I clip it and edit it. What they do is they re-record it off stream and then edit it onto their stream footage, basically. So a lot of what you see in TikToks and Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts of streamers is actually highly edited, re-recorded footage that they redid, and not actually stuff that happened live on stream. In fact, one of the big big Twitch streamers, who's got a YouTube channel called Stream Scheme, actually legitimately pointed out that loads of streamers do that these days. Okay, so yeah, it's not even a controversy anymore because fucking everyone's doing it, because like big streamers can hire editors to edit their footage for them so they can re-record things and then pass off the work to someone else. I mean, small streamers can't really do that because editing takes a lot of time, and if you're only one person, you don't have the time to redo everything, re-edit it all like that. So you sort of have to make do with what you got on stream. But a lot of big streamers who can hire multiple different editors can just re-record clips and pass it off to an editor to put together for them.
Because you'll love it here. Oh lol, wait, that's great. What would
and then they basically schedule the videos to go up whilst they're streaming, basically.
She then tells me her apartment number. This was someone that I once called one of my closest friends, Foosley, wanting me to move to LA, as I was telling her 2 months before I broke up with Emaru that I wanted to move to LA and get out of Austin, Texas, because I knew at the time that I wanted to end it with Emaru and move on. At the time, Foosley was one of my best friends in the scene. Her and I would talk all the time about our problems, our issues. We would play games together. I was hanging out with her on stream constantly for about 3 or 4 years straight.
Oh, I wonder how the judge is going to respond to hearing all these streamer names during this defamation lawsuit. I imagine they're going to be like an old boomer or something, and they're going to hear all these like online gamer tag nicknames and struggle to keep up with who's who.
In LA, she was the first person I called. Foosley, whose real name is Leslie, I met her 4 years ago when I went on a girl named Katamia's stream for her subathon, and it turned into some of the most fun I ever had streaming. We became close fast. We played games together all the time. We talked constantly about content, our lives, our relationships, and sponsors. When I was anywhere near LA, she was the first person I called. And just 2 months before my relationship ended, she wanted me to move into her own building in LA. Right there with her, November 2024 text will show that the unit under Valkyries is available and come to LA whenever. I'll love it here.
All the big rich streamers in LA just live in the same apartment complex.
To show you that I had. I was very close.
They probably do. That's why they collapse all the time, right? Because they're literally just neighbors.
But I wanted to move to LA, and I knew I wanted to break up with Emery. This next part that I'm going to show will show you what has happened to my reputation ever since Emery's accusations. On June 18, 2025, after texting me how excited that she was for me to come over, Fuslie came to my house to hang out. She cut my hair, and I streamed it. The very next day, June 19th, is when Cutie Cinderella sent the message shown before you that Fuslie had gone to Cutie asking what she thought about me, and Cutie told her her feelings and then told her to reach out to Emaru. Cutie is a dumbass and sent that message to an account that she thought was Emaru, but it wasn't. It was Emmy OK, who then gave it to me after Emaru made her allegations, showing.
That's low-key embarrassing for Cutie Cinderella, actually. Messaging the wrong person because they have a similar username. I think he was very lucky that this happened and the person that it got sent to showed it to him. Because otherwise you would have had no idea about this. I wonder how soundproof those apartments must be, because you could probably fucking hear everyone streaming at the same time when they go live.
Were my friends prior, but then.
Like if you're not a streamer, it must be a nightmare to live there.
Completely stopped talking to me. That is a 24-hour window between Fuslie sitting in my house and excited to be there, and Cutie privately briefing her on what it is and how to think about me. After the one private conversation, Fuslie stopped talking to me entirely. That friend who wanted to be there on day one of me moving to LA, that friend that wanted me to live in her apartment complex under her friend Valkyrie, was gone because she was told what to say and how to think about me. That friend who was at my house one day, who wanted me to live with her at one point, was now gone because of what she was told in a private message she was never supposed to have. A message from someone who was not even involved, repeating claims about me that were never true, and making her doubt a real friendship over accusations I was never even given the chance to answer. About a month later, after she hasn't responded to me, I went to a 100 Thieves party with some of my friends, and she was there. And
Bro, why are you still going to parties when you know everyone attending there probably hates you right now?
When I asked her what was wrong, she told me
like legitimately, it's not gonna kill you to not go to a few parties for like not even a year, it's literally a few months when you get your fucking lawsuit in order and people are gonna be more okay with you. This is what I don't get. Why was he still trying to go to parties when he knows everyone there thinks he's a fucking rapist? When he hasn't done anything to try and fix it yet, or clear his name in any way, shape, or form, and he knows it's still getting his act together. Like, dude, this is kind of fucking stupid, in my opinion.
Because of what she heard I did to Emaru. At the time, I had no idea what was going on and what people were saying about me.
No, he's stupid for doing that still.
What was said.
He can't really play victim for that one.
I tried to reach out to Fuslie afterwards multiple times, but she never responded. On June 27th was the date of the 100 Thieves party. And after crying,
I see he gets the date wrong a lot as well, because this is the third time he's corrected himself.
Anymore because of what she heard I did, she said, "You're okay, Vince." I then said, "Just sad the reality, but maybe whatever." I then said, "It's just so fake, the politics are fake, so much crap and so much cheating and drama, and nobody cares and they hang out. But here I am, and people don't want to talk to me." I then say to her the next day, "We should talk, not drunk, off stream."
What's going to be interesting though is it's going to be how people are going to respond to it, specifically the ones who are more involved in their personal lives, of course, and knows what actually went on between them, and how they're going to now respond retroactively. Now this has come to light that they probably knew more than they let on, and definitely picked the wrong side because they wanted to be seen taking their side that everyone thinks is the right side. If he wins the defamation case, are they going to switch up on what they were saying, even though Look, I think that's gonna put them under scrutiny, isn't it?
She never responded. And on March 4th...
Dude, why are you switching sides now if you knew the truth the entire time and chose the wrong side because you thought it would make you look bad if you didn't?
The next day, Cutie Cinderella messages her.
At that point, people can say, why didn't you speak up?
This is what was constantly happening to me for about a year until Emeru came out through allegations. I was not an outcast. I was friends with every creator. I slowly became an outcast over that year as Emeru's lies were spread amongst the community. And nobody told me what was really going on. For almost a year now, I have been forced to live inside a bubble that isn't mine, and it doesn't feel real. I've been wrongfully punished and treated and seen as a man.
Dude, some of those problems were of your own making. You should have known better.
An abuser and a stalker.
But yeah, it looks like he's got a decent case against her at this rate.
Wrongfully attached to my name and my reputation and my community for the entire world to treat me as such. It took more than my...
Although it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna depend on what he says in part 2 and if Emily responds to this with her own receipts in any way, shape, or form. But this is probably something I'm gonna keep my eye on.
Any of this that has happened to me among my worst enemies. There were nights it would have been easier to just disappear, to be quiet, to let the loudest version of the story become the only one.
Because he carried on streaming, he just moved over to Kick, didn't he? And he still had a somewhat decent following because people were following him and still watching him.
I spoke the same way she did, and I've talked about it on stream since, but this is the first time I've done it in a way with a clear head, with preparation, in every document in front of me, in every quote sourced. I spoke the same day she did, and I have talked about it on stream since, but this is the first time I've done it in this way. This is only the beginning, and I'm going to go through all of this because I know she won't, because it will prove her lies. Because the truth doesn't ask me to shout, it only asks me to stay, to stand here with these documents, with the dates, with their own words, and not look away. I'm standing up for myself, I'm standing up for people who stood by me, and I'm going to keep standing for as long as it takes. This has been the worst year of my life. I wouldn't wish this on a single soul, not on anyone, no matter what they've done to me. All I have ever wanted is for the truth to be heard, and for justice, real justice, to find its way to the surface. To my community, and to everyone who never stopped believing in me.
Oh, he's got, okay, he's put links to receipts as well. That's
Thank you.
Good thing he did that.
There's just one more thing I want you to see. Just one. This whole case will be decided on evidence. The messages, the devices, the documents, everything both sides has to hand over. Under oath. I filed this lawsuit on...
I think a lot of this is going to depend on what she hands over as well. Because a lot of what he's shown needs to be verified and stuff. I think some of it might not hold up on scrutiny, but a good chunk of it will.
Her own side's account, she knew about it November 10th. And on November 11th, the very next day, she went back on stream and told everyone watching this in her own words.
I got 2 new computers. My other computer is gone. I gave it back to Starforge and they wiped that shit.
Ooh. Deleting evidence. I imagine. I mean, Discord and stuff is kept online, usually. Like, they would have their own, like, backups and stuff of conversations. If a lot of this was in Discord messages. So, wiping the PC won't really get rid of that, would it? No, we'll see about that. We'll see where it goes. He's going to release a part 2. I'll see where he goes with that. But I'm also interested in seeing how she responds to that. But there's going to be an ad break in a moment. What I'm going to do, I'm going to switch to playing some Death Stranding too. So let me change my category. Yeah, it's a case of like, because I see a lot of stuff that you mentioned, even things like, you know, going to the party and everyone being mean to him there. Like, I think that's a stupid fucking thing to bring up in this case. I think the stuff about false accusations, he probably has the most like ground to stand on in a case against her and probably the best shot against her. But again, it's going to depend on what she and her lawyers end up responding with. Anyway, I'm going to be right back. Have a quick toilet break and then I'm going to load up the game. So I'll be back in just a moment. Watch this. Alright, cool. Be right back. why he shows up in things like The Great Ace Attorney, and I fucking love it. Probably my favorite version of that character.
Pull the lever, Kronk!
You got me by surprise there. Congratulations on being first place, Annex. Considered political. Oh no, it's his roommate, yeah, of course. Sorry, they look and smell the same to me. Sorry, I know you don't like being disturbed in public like this. You probably get recognized all the time. I'll leave you alone now. It's really sad because I've got a Facebook page and I post my own original content on there. The own original memes, which do really well to the point where people see it, fuck it, whatever. But what's really sad is that I've seen pages that have more likes than reactions. I mean, it's all just really bad AI movie posters, like confirming shit like, well, confirming shit like Robert Pattinson's Batman is going to be in Avengers Doomsday. It's a really bad AI poster. And it's like I'm surprised he hasn't asked her for Palestinian. Like, oh, you're Palestinian? Name 5 streets you bombed. Name 5 child amputees you shot at. Serving the IDF. Name 5 war crimes you committed. Let me. Whoa there. Okay, there we go. God damn it, let me. Oh my god, I just want the chainsaw, holy shit. Why does everyone get a turn with this thing apart from me? Mom said it's my turn with the chainsaw. God damn it, not like that. By the time I get to have it, there's gonna be no enemies left. Apparently every single woman he's ever spoken to is a lesbian. There are no straight women in Japan. If you truly want to see more empathy in the world, even for people like Charlie Kirk, and I don't think he's above this as well, he could have been someone that would be receiving empathy and thoughts and prayers from people at university, right? You have to be willing to share empathy with others yourself. It's a two-way street. You can't just demand it from others when you've never shown an ounce of it. When you've never shown an ounce of it for them. It's like a social contract, right? It goes both ways. You can't say everyone. Rank higher than 62% of all players server-wide. This is me playing on a fucking controller on the PC with one hand, right? People are always like, oh, you gotta use keyboard and mouse and aim is so inferior. Motherfucker. This is me kicking 62% of you right in the ass. Using only one hand and a controller. That controller can hold someone on top of you
the moment that he knows
he's also done streams with Vivian Generals.
worried about re-election, he comes out and actually votes on the war.
Meanwhile, Elon's family did not
it's
like any time
so you
about
know
war
that this
Christmas
was
Day.
bad from the
He was
start.
begging as
Just
the
a piece
to
of
visit
shit.
the island.
Isn't that shittier than just
At
not
9
doing
in the
anything at all? You're like, oh.
No, I mean,
I think this is me winning. Yes. And same for you. If he hit me with a cord by the grave, then I would have been done. But no, this is GG. Turn 4 is Zodiac. It's a very consistent deck. I've been testing it a lot. I also need to make a confession. I need to admit to being homophobic now. Because this time last year I had braces, and I had rainbow braces for Pride Month, which I called my LGBT. But I don't have my braces anymore. I've got straight teeth now. So I'm straight now. And I guess this is the start of me having to, because I'm no longer, you know, celebrating Pride in my teeth. I guess I'm celebrating straight Pride now, which makes me homophobic. So this is me apologizing for my straightness. And I hope everyone can forgive me for this. It will happen again. I do miss that is being said to him. It's something that Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro and both these right-wing debaters and podcasters don't do because they want to make clips of themselves looking cool, talking to other people, and holding them a conversation. They don't actually care about educating other people on the topics. They just want to look like they're smarter than everyone else, and that's what goes viral. So what good old Charlie here has to say about this. I return. Before I do start the game, let me make sure I do the right thing, which is getting rid of TikTok. Because last time I streamed with TikTok running in the background, it was using way too much of my CPU and my PC was almost melting. And I was dropping frames everywhere, my stream was lagging, which is not what I want to have happen. So let's make sure that doesn't happen. Load the game up. Let me also stop my music. As nice as this is, pretty good rendition of the Song of Storms. I'm staying hydrated as well. I also did have a quick costume change because I was so sweaty in my other t-shirt that it was uncomfortable, and I thought let's switch that out for something a little drier. And not be uncomfortable for the next hour or so. Game's taking a while to load up. Let's play. Let's play. Go. Sure is taking his time on that last bit. Only 13% left. One thing I do like about Ghost of Yote is when you load the game up, it boots you straight into the game without any menus or any logos or anything, which is genuinely really fucking cool. I'm surprised more games just don't do that. Here we go. Second loading screen, let's go. Oh, this is shaders compiling. Okay. This one's gonna be slightly longer, I think. Joys of modern gaming. I get the idea behind it. Have it one long loading screen first, so you won't have any during the game. But when we also have to update our games constantly, it's literally loading screen after loading screen before we can even load into the game. That has not moved at all, has it? Oh, there we go. All in one go. I was wondering, like, was the game broken for a second or something? Okay, what do I want to do?
Sam, we've received an urgent request from the Northern Environmental Observatory. Brigands to the west of the facility have got their hands on a large stockpile of weapons and have taken it back to their base. This happened shortly after the recent tarfall abated. The surrounding area was littered with a massive quantity of cargo that had been washed up by the tar. The brigands wasted no time gathering up everything they could and hauling it back to their encampment. This included weapons and gear unlike any we've seen before. And now we've begun observing new brigand units in the field. These ones are wearing red, reinforced armor, accented with luminescent light strips. As their unique appearance suggests,
okay.
they're more resistant
Pigs
to
and his
damage.
guys.
Melee and electrical attacks are especially ineffective against them. These units have clearly been outfitted for close quarters combat. And their sudden deployment is troubling to say the least. Their presence likely indicates that the brigands are gearing up for a raid of some sort. And if we ignore this development, the brigands could use their new toys to attack the observatory, and there's no telling what might happen then. So we need to seize all of them before they have a chance to do so. Moreover, the latest data from the observatory strongly suggests an explosion of some sort occurred just beneath the Earth's surface not long ago. APAS analyzed the shockwave and has concluded that it is consistent with the type produced by ground-penetrating ordnance. This leads us to believe that the cargo the brigands secured may have included powerful explosive material. Directly assaulting the brigands using firearms risks triggering these devices, and we cannot predict how that would affect the region.
Oh, they don't want me to use my guns.
Sort of
Okay.
catastrophic explosion may also have an
I
adverse
can't use
impact
close
on
quarters
the
combat,
tar
and I can't use my guns.
It is therefore critical that you avoid combat and
They just want me to
secure the
sneak in
cargo
basically
without
and
alerting
do a
if
stealth
possible.
mission.
I implore you to take on this main order, Sam, and soon.
And if that's the case, I should probably get rid of most of my cargo then. I won't be able to use a lot of it. So let's collect this and this and this. I can't use any of these. I might as well leave them behind. Recycle it. Don't want to fabricate anything. Maybe a few of these. Just make 4 of them. Good dudes now. Alright, let's do it. Straight line, I can do that. The most useful. I'll save up my points. Yeah, let's head out. Can I change my vehicle? Color. Want eBay unit 2. There we go. Door and login colors. Customize it with 3 unit. Why not? I think the reverse trike looked better from the first game. This one kind of looks a little dorky in my opinion. But I'm glad they let you have access to it earlier on in the game than the first one did. So I think a lot of people quit the first game because the prologue chapter was so long and it took you ages to get any vehicles. So people assumed the entire game was just walking from A to B.
Definitely not alone.
Well, I see him. Probably leave my vehicle here. Oh shit, I've already been spotted. Okay, that's not good. I was hoping to use that ladder to get up there, but apparently I've screwed it up already. Vehicle destroyed by considerate VT. That doesn't sound very considerate to me. I keep pressing the wrong button to crouch because I'm used to playing other games. Shit, okay, do you know what? I'm gonna stop throwing hands. Oh, I should have brought the bowler gun. I could have tied them up. I'm an idiot. Should probably redo this.
Get to safety, Sam. You could pass out at any moment.
I'm gonna have to reload my previous save. Hang on. Hopefully it's before I left to start this mission. Good. I'll probably get one of these. And one of these. Rank sniper rifle? Maybe. I think those are the only things I can get away with using. A vehicle? Wrong vehicle. Let's get the other one out. Let's give it different colors. That'll do. That's edgy enough for me. Alright. I know better now. Let's not make the same mistake again. Let's ditch it here.
Awfully kind that someone went to the trouble to build.
Let's roll again. I want to use the ladder, but I know if I go up there I'll get caught like last time, so let's go around this way. Who's looking at me? He's too far away. There we go. Shit. His friend saw me. Okay. At least I'm prepared this time. Kick him in the nuts. I was gonna say I'm going in guns blazing. It's more like I'm going in ropes blazing. Get off me. You getting out of that? It is. This thing comes with a lot of ammo. Someone's still conscious. Ooh, I see you. Don't want that electric rod, why not? That might be useful. Where are we shooting me from? Someone's gonna mount a turret up there. Multiple people are, okay. I need to switch to my sniper rifle. I get them out. Got myself. Hit. I gotta run. Find cover. Oh shit, these are automated. I can't tranquilize them. Okay. He's shooting me from behind as well. Well, he's trying to. That one's not automated. That one's got a person on it. Someone else is trying to get me somewhere. Down below. From here, I don't think I can. Oh, there you are. I should not be using a sniper rifle in such close range like that. Someone else is also trying to get me. Are you? Ah, there you are. The last, I don't think it's the last one. That feels too easy. Oh, there we go. There you are. Got a friend behind him as well. Shit, okay. I don't know how long they're gonna be knocked out for. Let me grab my shit and go. One of them. It's okay. I'm gonna have to switch to other weapons. Because this sniper rifle only has one bullet left. Enemy base neutralized. Good. I better be quick about this then.
Come on. Keep it together.
There's a lot of shot weapons. Oh, hang on. This is a weapon. Weird. Fluffy animal plushie. They probably stole that from someone else, so I should be liberating it from them. And if I can't find who it belongs to, then I guess it's just my plushie. Animal shelter stuff. Oh, it belongs to churches. I should probably give it back to them then.
You've recovered
Let's go,
everything then.
let's go steal that truck.
Let's get it delivered. I'm afraid you've dropped some cargo, Sam.
Did. I bumped into a wall and it came off. Okay. Let's shove all this in that truck and get going. I'm gonna leave my vehicle behind for anyone else to use. I am taking it back to the right place, aren't I? Sometimes they want you to take it back to a different place. Okay, yeah, right place.
Just a bit further now.
Average cargo damage 0% because I took everyone out before I picked anything up. There's no one left to damage the cargo. They damaged me plenty. But I don't think I'll get penalized for that, do I?
Oh, did you really go out and steal all that stuff from the brigands? Way to go, Sam. Let me get started on processing your haul. I can't find a single scratch on any of this stuff. You truly are one of a kind.
Game recognizes game.
You have accomplished so much, done things only you could have done. We want you to have this data as thanks. We've increased your allocation of materials. Now displaying your current order grade. They got... And when you do place them, you'll find they're... But also for creating routes. Aside from that, we've also made it so you can now use your PCC to fabricate bridges up the rivers.
I'm sure that'll be useful. They could have given me that sooner, actually. I don't see any reason why they needed to gatekeep that for me.
Call it a little ensign. It included a device I believe you guys have taken to call. These jammers are capable of disrupting the flow of local tar currents.
That sounds more useful.
In addition, You also recovered some explosives modded to be able to penetrate the ground and detonate within the tar. This would destabilize the currents over a large area. Needless to say, both these items could have been used to deliver an enormous blow to the chiral network. In other words, we've really dodged a bullet. But what I'd like to know is why this tech wound up in their hands in the first place. Can't chalk it up to pure chance. Honestly, it's almost like those brigands knew in advance that the tar was hiding cargo. We've got to consider the possibility that someone gave them a heads up. Food for thought on the road ahead.
Excellent work, Sam. You'll be happy to hear that tomorrow's regained consciousness. Once you're back on board the DHV Magellan, you should see for yourself.
I wonder how she feels about having a Hideo Kojima ass name like that.
Order completed. Well done.
I don't know how she decided on that being a good name for someone. I mean, considering they're called things like Fragile and Rainy, it probably is the least abnormal name amongst them all, actually. Right, let's go. I can't believe someone brought shoes into that. This should be a no shoes household like that. There we go.
Someone doesn't like shoes.
I don't blame her. I think people who put shoes on the bed are weird.
She won't even touch any normal food. But at least we managed to convince her to take a shower. No, tomorrow. We don't do that.
Seems like a real handful.
She just needs some time to settle.
You must be tired, Sam. Get some rest.
Are we getting another dream sequence? Oh no, it's just passing time, okay. I do. Get up.
Sam, it's Charlie. Be advised that we have a new assignment waiting for you. I'll need to brief you on upcoming objectives as well. Access the delivery terminal at the Northern Environmental Observatory to take on this main order.
What do I do actually? I just remembered something I did last time I was trying to stream this when I couldn't figure out what was wrong. If I remember correctly, did I put everything on low? I wasn't sure what was messing up and I realized later it was TikTok. I did. Let me put it back on what it should be. Foxy, hello. How are you doing today? Glad to hear it. I'm currently playing Norman Reedus and the Funky Fetus too. I really enjoyed the first game. I'm still early on in this one, but I'm enjoying it so far. Again, I am very biased and I enjoy all the weird shit Hideo Kojima makes.
Sam, by linking up the various sites farther to the north, you'll eventually be able to establish a connection to Hartman's facility.
Oh,
In
Hartman, I
short,
love that guy.
It's time to tackle the northern part of the continent. Start by bringing the F2 South Distribution Center into the network. Some of the staff there are former residents of Cape Fort Knott who managed to escape the city before it was swallowed up by the tar. In addition to overseeing distribution operations, they also protect the facility from would-be assailants. Unfortunately, local chiral contamination levels are extremely high, leading to disturbing reports of paranormal phenomena near the facility. The cargo you're tasked with delivering should aid staff in dealing with this issue. Accept the main order from this delivery terminal to proceed.
Okay. Distance I'll need to go. It's going pretty good, right, Chrome? How are you doing?
This cargo has been designated Do Not Submerge.
I gotta avoid water. Okay, got you. Fabricate some equipment. I'm probably gonna need a couple of ladders. Maybe a couple of climbing anchors too. I'm gonna take an assault rifle just in case I get into trouble. Classic American back to school kit. Oh, I hope you had a good time together. Are you watching it in preparation for the new Spider-Man movie coming out this month? Nice. I'm really excited for it. I'm put that and the Odyssey are my two most hyped
Thank you.
things coming out this month.
I'm counting on you.
This should get me a good portion of the way there. I'll probably have to abandon it later. Gotta make sure it doesn't get wet. Yeah, they're both in the same movies together twice. Although I don't think their characters will actually meet in the Odyssey, if I'm correct about which characters they're playing. Or they might have a scene together at the end. No, I think they'll have one at the very early in the movie, maybe if they show before the war starts. Because he's playing Telemachus, who is the son of Odysseus. And I believe he's playing the King of Sparta. So they technically won't meet at any point. I need to get away from these ghosts. Holy shit. I think this vehicle might be a bit too slow. I am being chased down by some angry ghosts right now. I don't think I brought the right weapon to deal with them either. I just hope my slow as ass truck can outpace them. If they do, I imagine it'll be like a flashback or something before the Trojan War begins. Because I don't want to spoil the movie or anything, but I don't think they'll have any scenes after the war. I am looking forward to seeing Robert Pattinson though, because that man has not disappointed in any movie he's been in. Loved him in the Batman. He was probably the best part of Tenant. Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to enjoy it, really. But I would recommend looking into adaptations of the Odyssey, maybe after you've watched it, just so you can see how different the story is when people reinterpret it. One I would recommend, I'd say write this one down. There's one called Epic the Musical, which is a musical version of the Odyssey you can find on YouTube. And generally one of the best retellings of the story. It's a 40-song concept album, or series of concept albums, and it's generally really fucking good. He's also the person who made it as well, Jorge Rivera Herrán. He's also making a musical version of the Iliad called Ilium, and the Odyssey version, Epic, is being turned into an animated movie by the director of the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. So we're seeing more Odyssey, and I think that's coming out next year, so I'm looking forward to that one. Probably looking forward to that one even more, actually. But I think it'd be interesting to watch after you've watched the Odyssey, just so you can see two different interpretations of the same story, and how people are adapting differently. This is the place? It's not, it's the place later. Okay, it's beyond this point.
Just a bit further now.
Unless it is. Hang on, is it? It is, okay. It was measuring downwards as well. I thought it was measuring behind it. Okay.
I presume. Yeah, you seem like the genuine article. Welcome. Hope it wasn't too hard to track. I'll just need a moment to check your cargo. It's rare to receive something looking this good. I knew you were the right man for the job. Been making them. All right. Go ahead and put us on the chiral network.
Oh, check it out. I got some brand new Nikes. They're heavy, extreme durable, kicking the enemy while wearing these boots. Oh, nice. I'm going to do the Spartan kick more often then. Sticky cannon.
Now displaying your current order grade.
So we've been linked up.
Is that Benedict Wong?
There's also the necrobiotes you brought us as
I think
well.
it is.
Feels like we
Sorcerer Supreme. Now that Stephen Strange has no longer got that title.
Custom vehicle components as well as some sturdy combat boots. I'm sure
It
the
is.
vehicle parts in particular.
Holy shit, I didn't realize he was in this.
For combat and cargo retrieval. You need all the help you can get, because those armed survivalists waiting for you out east are far more dangerous foes than the brigands. They're a bunch of fools who won't hesitate.
Kojima really does just collect celebrities he likes and shoves them in his game.
Though I'll be damned if I know where they got it. Make sure you're prepared before you head their way.
And they all show in the most random place as well.
Those combat boots ought to add some serious power to your kicks. You might want to equip a pair if you intend on getting up close and personal. Some people have called me that. A while back, we had a situation with this group that went around looting whatever supplies they felt like. And I was the boxing champ who went up against these guys and sent them all packing with nothing but his bare fists. That's the story they tell, but
badass.
it sure as hell ain't the truth. I didn't charge gallantly into battle and beat the shit out of them. I approached them in peace so we could work it out. I asked why they were stealing from other people, and they said it was because they didn't have the skills to live any other way. So I taught them other ways to survive. Trained them a bit. Nothing more than that, really. In the end, all we had to do was talk to each other. They weren't like the other riffraff you find around here. And they're still here. In fact, working in this facility. If anyone around here deserves to be called a hero, it's you, Sam. I mean, you're the one trekking across Australia trying to bring everyone
I'm
together.
pretty sure all the parts of Australia I've visited so far in game in real life are uninhabited, save for the local wildlife, which is usually a lot of crocodiles, or snakes, or scorpions.
So-called Golden Fist. Feel free to lend a hand.
Because it's only the southern coast that's inhabited by people and cities, isn't it?
They're not something just anyone should be messing with. Their affinity with the dead makes them dangerous. But that's also why we can use them to prevent the dead from attacking us. With that kind of power at our disposal, we can put people's minds at ease. Could solve all kinds of problems, I'm sure.
No, it's the Sorcerer Supreme. It's Benedict Wong.
We've uploaded some schematics for pickup off-roader parts. One of them is a heavy machine gun. It automatically acquires and fires at targets in range. It uses
The guy who stepped up when Doctor Strange was, you know, not around.
It's effective not only against human enemies like armed survivalists, but BTs as well. The other part is a sticky cannon. When mounted, it independently scans.
Train to Busan is a really fucking good movie. I think that might actually be one of my favorite horror movies of all time.
It makes rounding up dropped cargo easier than ever.
It's shot so well.
And who wouldn't want that? Pickup off-roaders can be equipped with 2 parts like these simultaneously.
I'd argue it's probably the best zombie movie ever made.
Situation at hand. Thanks again. We're glad to have you in our corner. With your support, we'll be able to
Like
do
Hideo
so
Kojima,
much
he
more
literally
for
just
others.
finds actors he likes
Stay strong.
and scans them into his games, and they show up in the most random fucking places.
Sam, you're the best. Now get yourself back to the DHV Magellan and take a load off. Just so you know, tomorrow's been doing much better. Pay her a visit when you can, okay?
I imagine that's going to load up another cutscene. What I might do, I might wrap it up here because it's getting late, so I don't want to keep people up too late. Where is the Magellan? Find me, that's where it is.
Disengaging weapons restrictions.
That's what I'll do. I'll save it here before I know when I step on there, they're going to hit me with a long cutscene. And I want to save that for next stream, I think. End it here. Let's chat. Thank you everyone who tuned in today, of course. I'll stream more of this. I still have Crimson Desert installed, and that's a game I might want to play more of as well, so I might stream that next time too. I don't know, I think I want to stick to Death Stranding for now, because I'm having a good time with that one. Let me see who I want to raid out to. And send you all to after this. Okay. I have a lot of options. Thank you. It's Daredevil. I get a lot of mine from QWERTY, so it's QWERTY, not like that. They do t-shirts for like £12 most of the time, sometimes less. And they're all done by independent artists, and they have really good designs. I would recommend them. I'm gonna send you to Baconic, who's currently streaming. I believe she's doing some Pokemon. Well, she's doing Nostalgia Valley with Pokemon mods. Okay. I hope you enjoy watching her stream. She's only been live for less than an hour. I am gonna head off. I hope you copy and paste whichever raid message you want to use. And I'll be back, not tomorrow, because House of the Dragon new episode drops, so I'll probably spend the day watching all my shows and catching up with those. Probably Wednesday, maybe Tuesday, depending. I'll post about it when I'm live. But anyway, enjoy watching Baconic. I'll see you next time. Sayonara.